show you how to make a really nice pair of stilts out of a 2x4.
Start with an 8-foot 2x4. The stilts have 2 steps, 1, 2, and we're going to cut those out of a length of 2x4. So that's 9 inches, that's 9 inches. Together it makes up 18 inches, and this is a 22.5 degree angle. I'm going to take a tape measure, and I'm going to measure out 18 inches. And the blade is going to be on the outside of that. So I'm going to put an X to tell me that the blade goes on that side of the line. I like to take a tri-square and draw a line through that mark. And then I want to go 9 inches. So 18 divided by 2 is 9. So that is going to be the center of that 18-inch section. Draw a line through that. And I also want to find the center widthwise. So it's 3.5 inches wide. Half of 3.5 is 1 3/4. So I'm going to put a mark at 1 3/4. But this is going to be cut 22.5 degrees. So about like that. Again, the angle here is 22.5 degrees. We could measure that out with a protractor, but the miter saw we can set it with a miter saw to be 22.5 degrees, and we just want to go right through that point when we make our cut. Of course, before I use the miter saw, I need to have long hair tied back, long sleeves pulled up, hoodie strings, anything dangly removed or secured, and I need to have safety glasses on. The wood goes against the fence. You can pull the blade down to see where it's going to start, but you don't want to start it against the wood. And this is the tool in the shop that I need to directly supervise people at. So every time you use this machine, I need to be watching you right there using it. So when I go to cut, my left hand will be over here. My right hand will be right there. Pull the trigger and make it go. And the blade should come down and be right on that line. The left side of the blade should be right on that line. Now, I'm going to adjust this so I pull up on that, pull up on this little tabby thing down there, and I just slide this over till it's at 22.5 degrees. It actually locks in place there at 22.5 degrees. Move that over. And I want the blade to come down and go right through that mark. Looks like so I'm trying to hold the phone at the same time as I get it in place. Excuse my, I know this is annoying, sorry. Okay, so right there you can see the blade goes right through that center mark that we made. And I'm ready to do my cut. And I have the 2 steps. Next, you're going to give the rest of your board to me, and I'm going to put it in this jig I made. It's 2 5/8 of an inch down here, 3/4 of an inch up here. It's going to rip the board to that special taper. So I put it in the jig. I lock it into place. And now you have a board that's thick on the bottom and thin on the top. These will make really nice stilts that are light but still strong enough to walk on. Now you're going to be holding onto this, so here's where you get a little bit of good old-fashioned craftsmanship. You're going to take this plane and you're just going to run it along the edge on both sides, working out these little slivers, and that'll round the edges so it's just very comfortable to hold. I find using planes extremely satisfying. As long as they're adjusted properly. The blade here should stick down just a tiny little bit from the flat surface. If you need my help getting the plane adjusted properly, let me know. And here's how you finish them. You're going to take the step and you're going to fasten it to the arm, I guess you could call that. You get to decide how tall you want them. I'm going to recommend 18 inches. And you can actually always move these around later. I'm going to put this here on my 18-inch mark. Make sure everything's looking nice and centered. I'm going to trace this. And then I'm going to drill 4 shank holes within this rectangle that I traced. The shank hole should be the same size as the outer diameter of the screw. You'll notice I'm hanging it off the edge of the table so I don't accidentally drill a hole through the table. I'll put this back on there. Flip it over. Use my driver bit. I'm just going to make sure everything's still looking good. Okay, that looks good. And drive the screws in.
After you have one, just double check everything's looking straight.
And we got it. Practice with these outside. You tuck them in your armpits like this, and then you step up. You step up and stand up. The big mistake people make is they try to walk all hunched over like this. So you stand up, step up, and stand up so you're straight. And then as you lift with your foot, you also lift with your arm. And that's how you do it. And if you start to fall, just jump off, okay? I recommend that you stay far away from other people if you're practicing, because sometimes people do this. And these things go flying, and I don't want anybody to get bonked on the head. Anyway, have fun and be safe.